1,000 men in our town, one single mustache. And it has to be on my dad. It makes my stomach hurt. What kind of mustache? A big one.
All right, let's begin with this talk with a mustache, a big one. We're gonna draw this mustache with pure CSS today. Are you guys with me? So in regard to CSS, everything has to be in this box model. So in CSS world, you cannot really think outside of a box because literally everything has to be in a box. That's why not many people are as enthusiastic as I am about drawing stuff with pure CSS. But today I'm telling you that we are gonna work inside the box and somehow transform a single div element into this mustache shape. I want to give a few points out as the common knowledge ground before we dive into live coding, and I'm pretty sure you guys are all very sassy about CSS, so just bear with me for a second. The first thing I want to point out is one single div comes with 3 visual elements, aka 3 boxes, for us to manipulate with the help of pseudo elements before and after. Second is that shadow could be of any color, and multiple shadows can be casted by one single object. Like so, we have many shadows all in different color here, and to draw this keyboard, colorful keyboard. And third thing is border radius can be defined individually for each corner and all be different for each corner. And fourth thing is borders are not always a rectangle shape. Its shape changes according to the adjacent border setting and the border radius setting of the 2 corners. Like for example, you see the up, we don't have border radius, but down we have border radius, and you have a very curious shape of a border, which you can manipulate and get interesting results. So let's now dive into live coding. As I said before, for the HTML, we're just gonna have one single div, and I'm gonna add a class name to it, mustache. And we're done with HTML for the rest of this coding session. And then we can close it for now. And now with the style sheet, first thing we're gonna try to do is to draw 2 circles. And circles are fairly easy to draw. We just have a rectangle and add border radius 50% to it. So let's begin. Have a width to 180 pixel and height to 180 pixel. I made the measurement 30 times larger for this presentation so that it's easier to see. And then we have border radius 50%. And I'm also gonna have position absolute because we want to have easy control of each element's placement and doesn't interfere with other elements' placement. And the position absolute is good for this purpose. And then I'm gonna define a color to be black. And we're gonna refer to this color with a CS trick called current color. The benefit of doing so, let me show you how to do that. Background color, we just say current color. And we're gonna keep doing this because the benefit is that if we want to change the color of the whole icon, we can only change it once here for the color, and the area where else is referring to this color, so we don't change like in multiple places. So now let's refresh. Now we have a circle. But did I mention we need 2 circles? And like I said, we only have 3 elements to manipulate with. So I don't want to use another pseudo elements. It have to be reserved for other parts. So how do I make another circle without using a pseudo elements? I'm gonna use box shadow. Since we already have a circle, and the shadow of a circle will also be a circle. And you can have as many shadows as you want. So we're just gonna have 2 box shadows. Here we go. The first one, first value is X offset, and Y offset 240 pixel, and spread to be 0, and blur to be 0 because we want them to be the exact same size, and sharp edges, so no blurriness. And the color, I will set it to current color. And then we're going to continue to have another box shadow. Second one, the X offset is 300 pixel and 240 pixel as Y offset, 0 spread, and 0 blur, current color. I hope it doesn't do that every single time. Now we have 2 circles, just with one single element. Now we actually don't need the main object to show up. We just need their shadows. It's kind of creepy, huh? It's like horror movie. You just see the shadow of the murderer, but you don't see the murderer. So we're just gonna remove, we don't need you guys. Go away. So we now have like just two circles. Next thing is the main part. That we're gonna draw the curved shape of the mustache. But how do we do that? Everything has to start with a box. So let's just start with a box using before pseudo elements. And give it a width and height. And as usual, I forgot, we need to set the content to be an empty string for a pseudo element to show up. And as usual, we're gonna have position set to absolute so that we can control them very easily. And here I'm gonna try to draw this curved part with border button. So I'm just gonna add a border button. To be solid and 180 pixel thickness and current color as well. To make it easier for you guys to see, I'm also going to make the main box show up by adding a temporary red background color. We're going to remove them eventually. So now, just to recap, the red part is the main box, and the black part is a border button. And what we want is to somehow curve the black part up so that it becomes like the left part of the mustache. How do we do that? We're going to use a border radius set to just one corner. Remember, we can set any corner to any value. So we're going to only set to the bottom left corner. So let's just get some value and see what happens. Border radius. It's going clockwise. So the first one value is top left, top right, bottom right, and bottom left. So we want to set the fourth value to be, let's just try something like 100 pixel and see what happens. So it's now curved up, but we should go further. The height of the black part is 180 pixel as we set it. So it can at least go to 180. So let's try that and see what happens. Refresh. So now the curve is go all the way up to the top edge of the black part, but it doesn't go beyond. What we want is it actually go beyond and curve the whole thing up, maybe to the top edge of the red rectangle. That's what we want. So let's just go extreme and set it to 100%. Awesome. So that's what we need. We're already getting very close, and we don't need the red part. Let's just get rid of that. And the next thing is we are going to try to move this part on top of the left circle, just exactly on top of it. So we just add a little left value to be 30, top to be 120. So here we go. Now what's left is just to rotate them. Let's see if this is that simple. So let's just rotate them. Add a little transform, rotate, and negative 40 degree. And see refresh. Didn't go as planned because the rotate center was not the center that we wanted. What we want is that it rotate center around the center of the circle, but it's not right now. It's not that. So we just need to set transform origin to the right side, and to the top should be 210 pixel. And let's see if that works. Now it's kind of perfect. It just rotate around the circle, and we can try by changing the value up and down and see what happens. 40, it will just go around like this. It's really good because later on we want to animate them and we want them to do in this behavior. Rotate like this, not like a crazy person or a crazy mustache. So now we have most of them already. We just need to mirror the before and then copy paste them for the after, and change everything just to be the other way. So just copy and paste and change before to after, And one thing we need to change is border radius is not applied to the button left. It should be button right. So we're just going to change the third value to 100% and fourth back to 0. And let's see. Let's do that one by one. So now it's right, but the rotate is to the other way. It should be positive 40 degrees instead of negative. And the transform origin also need to be on the left side. So just change the left, change the right to the left. And then like we have it there, we just need to move to the right. So we're just gonna change the left value to 330. And before I do that, I want to move them a little to the center. So I'm just gonna add a little left to the main object. So like when I refresh, it's in a good place. Voila, we have a mustache now. Is that fun? We only take, 7 minutes to do that. And I hope everyone thank you. So I hope everyone sort of pick up a little trick and to show your friends after the conference. So this is me. As introduced, I love a lot of things. I love humor, I love typography, I love icons. I'm a huge type nerd, but I also like procrastination.
Procrastination is petting something. It's watering a plant, it's doodling. Procrastination is trying to grow a mustache.
But obviously I cannot grow a mustache, so instead I draw a mustache out of pure CSS. And I was so procrastinating, I didn't just draw one, I drew 512 icons with just pure CSS. Since I'm a master procrastinator over the years, and my thesis was about procrastination, I have learned something about procrastination, and sometimes what I need to do is to tell myself if something, this is a trick, remember, if something takes less than 10 minutes to do, just do it right away, so you stop procrastinating on. Like, I can take out the trash under 10 minutes, I can call my dentist, or I can learn some CSS. That's what I find this material that I made is perfect for this beginner to learn some CSS trick within a really short time frame. And the content is condensed, and also there is immediate satisfaction. And that's what's important in self-learning to keep you motivated. So I spent a lot of time making a website, a web app, to host all 512 icons in a web app, and sort of made it in a way that it is helpful for other people to learn from it. And I'll show you how it works. So this is an app. You can click on any icon to activate a right panel. The internet didn't work. Oh, it works. So you can activate the right panel. It will show you the HTML code and the CSS code. You can copy them by clicking on this button. And what's cool is that a lot of people didn't find the logo type are also just pure CSS, and you can click on them. And you can see how to draw an S out of CSS with one single div. And also you can mouse over the code block and see which part of the code is drawing which part of the icon, so that you can sort of dive in and see how this crazy thing works, or not so crazy to those sassy people. And then you can, if you want to learn more, it's very important for you to get your hands dirty, so you can try it on CodePen. So when you click on CodePen, it will just migrate all the code to CodePen, and you can start like changing values, or made it into a new icon. And one of the benefits of having your icon in CSS is that you can animate them. That's the main reason I started doing this, because I saw very cool icon animation over other people's website. So I want to touch that as well. I started building, but haven't finished this animation playground for CSS icon. You can hover over the animate, also pure CSS, of course. And you can pick any two icons, and icon A and icon B, and then you can play the animation, any animation. It's very crude because this is the default animation, but that's a good start. You can start from here and add some custom-made keyframe animation and make them really, really, really amazing. You can go back and forth and also continue on CodePen. To show you what kind of animation I want people eventually be able to use this future version of this animation playground to make, I create a little code snippet for our mustache icon. Let's review that. It's very simple. It just have, let's crank it up a little bit. Very simple, just shake left, shake right. And then it's applied to the before and after pseudo elements. It's gonna shake it. So let's just copy the code to what we were working on before and see if it works. Now we have like a crazy talking mustache. The animation, I love animation. The animation credit goes to Me and My Mouton by Tori Cove and Procrastination by John Kelly. And the typeface credit goes to Acumen Pro White by Robert Slimbatch. And the right side, the monospace coding typeface I use in all my code example and my code editor is a typeface I'm working on called CS Mono. I have designed a lot of features to make it specifically to typeset CSS code in your code editor. You can check it out on css-mono.wenting.co. It will be free to download when it's ready. And you can follow me on Twitter, Design Jokes. And thank you so much.